Yeah, sure. So what are we doing? Holidays?
Festive holidays, are they necessary? But
Festive holidays.
do you want to ask it and phrase it to the table as though it was your idea?
So the theme is festive holidays, and then
Well, it's a question, isn't it? So the question is the theme. The theme is a question, all based around the same sort of thing. The question is just an easier way to start the conversation.
Okay, right.
Based on the theme.
So my question is, should we have Valentine's Day?
If you want to.
I don't really have a big opinion on that one. Just yes and no. Like, it's fun to have a day you celebrate with your loved one, but is it really necessary?
Where did Valentine's Day even come from?
I think it's just a marketing.
Is it Coca-Cola again?
I don't know. I don't.
Did they make Valentine's Day red? Traditionally, it was just.
Was it green? Yeah. Okay, so to extend that, should we have Valentine's Day considering suicide rates go up?
Do they?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why
I
I'm
didn't
surprised.
know there was a link. I kind of see it now. Yeah, I mean,
This is like official stats I've read. I've read multiple places that it goes up. I don't know the actual full stats, but apparently
on
it does go
Valentine's
up
Day.
on Valentine's Day, from the 13th to the 16th of February, suicide rates go up. Allegedly, I'm not sure if that's fully confirmed.
Personally, I don't really see the point in any of the holidays. I just think that they've all come from.
Oh, you're depressing.
Well, no, seriously, though, they've all come from places that we don't really know or identify with completely. And they've just all been turned into gift-giving holidays that if you don't give the gifts, then you're...
Considered a bad person.
Yeah. It's capitalism, and it's just, here you go, consume, buy, and tell someone you love them. If you don't, then clearly you don't love people if you don't spend the money.
I don't think we should have a Valentine's Day, because suicide rates do go up. Obviously, a lot of people who are single get more depressed and stuff like that, obviously. I just don't think it's an overall good thing. You can do all that on your anniversary, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Every couple has got an anniversary when they first got together.
Mm-hmm.
Do it then.
It's just commoditising something.
Yeah, it's all marketing.
Absolutely.
But you know what you said about all holidays? I do think holidays have a purpose in society because it does bring a sense of togetherness. Like Christmas.
Yeah,
We all look forward to Christmas, come on.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the actual day before. For me, I don't enjoy the day spending with my family, the presents. I don't care about any of that. But
Yeah,
when
yeah.
you're going out drinking with your friends and everyone's all together, and it's an occasion for everyone to get together and celebrate. And I think, could you imagine a year where you didn't have Christmas and things like that? It'd be a little bit less. What do you look forward to at that time of year? It's
People.
winter, everything's getting a bit down, and you're like, oh, Christmas is soon, something to look forward to.
Mm-hmm.
No,
I think it's a way of bringing people together. Then it's up to the person if they want to spend the money on the presents and stuff like that. Because as friends, we don't buy each other gifts.
Well,
No.
I'm just broke.
No, but like we wouldn't anyway, because that's not it's about. Whereas some friendships do.
Yeah.
I think the biggest gift we give each other is like just a drink. Like, here you go, mate. There's a
Got your
high
pint.
I thought you were going to somewhere really emotional then. The biggest gift we can give each other is a pint. Slap on the back, it's alright, mate. Time for another year.
The best gift is to give your friend a hug. Like, yeah.
No, I don't really see the point, to be honest, and I could live without it. I think.
Oh, yeah, obviously we could.
I-
Do you think it's nice?
I think it's nice to see people. You create your own meaning for it. So when you say that you look forward to seeing the people, yeah, that's the only thing I really look forward to. I don't care about the gifts. I tell people don't get me gifts, and each year I get less, and I'm happy about that. I'd rather just go through that and just treat it as I'm making time for people.
Yeah.
It's just, I just see it as like, okay, I'm not going to buy into all of the gift giving. Let's just be present, because you're swamped throughout the year. I know that I barely saw people really, especially family. I'll just be working all the time. So then it's I took the week and it's nice, and I didn't even go out for New Year's again 2 years in a row, and I felt good about that. Just had a bath, honestly, just recharged.
Yeah.
So no, I don't think it's, at least in the form it is. I think labelling a day and saying this is a time when we should all be together, that's great, that's beautiful, but don't buy into the corporate side of it.
Yeah.
Because it's
Either keep it as like friends
You
or
still-
religious purposes.
yeah,
if
yeah.
You are
I
religious.
think you're still to a certain degree not present. You're buying into what people are telling you to buy into, and then you miss out on what's real.
Yeah, I agree. Like, but I also think Christmas is important. Stuff like that.
Actually, just thought of something. Some holidays are worth it, or are important, because I don't think I'd want to live in a world without Halloween.
Halloween's just a bit pointless, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's
It is.
cool.
It
It's
is.
like, I think I like it because it is pointless, and it's like, if we're going to have one of these, here's a cool one where we like celebrate all things horror.
Saying that, actually, my favourite one is Bonfire Night.
No, it's not mine.
Just because it's the most impromptu one. So Halloween, everyone prepares for it weeks in advance. Everyone has something prepared for Christmas. Everything like that. Valentine's Day is spent with your half or in bed crying on your own. Whereas Bonfire Night, it's often the case where it's last minute. Oh, do you want to do something? Go somewhere, and it goes from you've got no plans to actually having quite a good night with your friends.
What about Easter? You just get to stuff your face full of chocolate.
Easter's like a non-existent one. I never do anything on Easter.
You don't do anything.
Yeah.
I just like it full of chocolate.
No one goes out as friends on Easter. Like, hey, happy Easter! When have you ever seen that? Like, let's all go clubbing in buddy costumes. Like, or as a big fat egg. No, like that just doesn't happen. Like,
Where did that come from as well, though? Because
Coca-Cola.
no, but all of Easter though wasn't like the origin of it, the resurrection of
Yes.
JC. So then, where the fuck do eggs and bunnies and all that shit come in?
I heard about this a lot. I can't remember what the full story is. It's something ridiculous. It's something really stupid. I can't remember what it was though. I have to have a look into
It's
it.
almost like mythos in the sense that things that we practice now have come from somewhere. We have no fucking idea really where it came from. We know the stories and what we've been told, but then we just continuously keep celebrating these things. And
Was it Cadbury who made the first egg? Easter
I
egg.
wouldn't put it past me.
Do you know what? Should we Google this where it all
Yeah.
comes from?
Kind of.
It's
Fact
like
check.
Christmas. They say it was the birth of baby Jesus, but if like people did their research,
Yeah.
Jesus wasn't
Like
born.
June,
Yeah,
July,
exactly.
or like
You
that.
see what I mean? It's the
November,
same sort of thing.
October, something like that.
It's like the Greeks remembering like all sorts of strange monsters and shit, or different cultures remembering like people coming down from the sky. Like we continue to celebrate it even though we didn't see it. We have no idea what that means.
We just get told this is what happened.
Yeah. Nothing to read into there.
So, from a Christian perspective, Easter eggs are said to represent Jesus. Jesus is emergence from the tomb. And
Okay.
decorating eggs for Easter has been a tradition that dates back at least to the 13th century.
I've never decorated an egg in my life.
No. I know I did in first school.
Same.
I don't think I did
They
that.
put like goggly eyes on it and stuff. And then probably dropped it out of a window.
Probably like drew a picture of an egg and then decorated that, but not like actually decorated an egg. I've eaten my fair share though.
Yeah. I think even as a kid, I knew it was like a thing and it seemed cool, but I never really did anything with Easter. I probably did one Easter egg hunt. Wait, yes I did. I do remember briefly an Easter egg hunt when I was a kid.
I don't remember doing
He's just
anything.
checking his Twitter now, isn't he?
Who's trending today?
There's no real explanation of the money. Who knows?
What about those national holidays? Those random, like every day's got something to do with it, just like some stupid. It's like you have like National Ginger Day or National Hug Your Friend Day or something like
Steak and blowjob though.
that. Yeah.
Don't those just come about with like the internet? People just talking and then, oh, this seems like a good idea.
Yeah, but when
Like, where the fuck did November come from?
that just became a thing? It was a trend.
Yeah, it's exactly the same thing, right? Because even though people might be like, oh, it's that steak and blowjob day, it's not like everyone's like making plans for it.
Wait, do you know how there's Father's Day, Mother's Days? You know there's a Child Days as well, but like
Child Days?
Yeah. So there's Mother's Day, there's Father's Day, but there's also Child
Hang
Day.
on. So for the past 24 years,
Yes.
I've been missing out on a
Yes.
Child's Day, a day
Yes.
when they should celebrate me.
Yes.
Well, that's just
But
bullshit.
no one talks about it.
That's fucked.
I know.
Oh yeah, no, that's
exactly.
convenient.
Yeah, no.
Coke's like, we'll give the parents a break.
Because Coke controls everything.
Yeah, let's not celebrate the kids. Fuck 'em.
Oh yeah, when did the Coca-Cola truck for Christmas start? Because isn't that like a thing that happens like every year?
I feel like it's something that happened and then it didn't happen for years. And everyone's like, oh, do you remember that? And they started doing it again.
Yeah, there's like a gap.
I feel like that's what happened.
Well, or we just like fully ignored it and then just like, they made a big reset.
Yeah.
No, they would have probably been trying to just do something different because that was such an iconic advert. So they brought it back because it's almost like, here's that again. But was it that advert? Because I know it was definitely Coke that made Santa Claus red and sort of turned him into what he is now.
So what was it before?
He had a green.
Actually green before.
Well, he had a green suit. His name was like Saint Nick. It had come from other stories of like some guy who would go giving children gifts at night on that particular day or something. But yeah, I guess Coke saw that as we want to capitalise on Christmas more. Let's make this guy sell our product. Essentially, it's just clever, really. Quite ballsy because I mean,
Power of marketing.
Yeah, you imagine because I guess people didn't really have much of an association with that character to start with. So then maybe there was room for someone to come in and just be like, "This is our vision for what this is." Because I mean, it's like taking an iconic character now that everyone knows, and then just doing something completely new with it.
Turning Iron Man green.
Iron Man green. That'd be weird.
Eco Man.
There is that guy, Captain Planet.
Captain? Yes.
Yeah. The guy who does War Machine did it like a strange parody.
Oh,
Have you seen it?
No.
It's just like, I can't remember exactly what he says, but it's just like, don't fuck up, or I'll turn you into a fucking tree. It's just literally. So you imagine with his sort of blunt humour, it's quite funny.
I was about to say something. Oh yeah, do you think the whole premise of Santa Claus is like just really
Ridiculous.
weird and sketchy?
Yeah.
Because a man who carries a giant sack full of presents somehow appears into your house and leaves a bunch of boxes underneath your tree, eats your cookies and drinks your milk and leaves.
Don't talk to strangers, kids, but there's a guy coming down your chimney at night while you're asleep. He's cool.
If you don't have a chimney, he would turn to smoke and come for your letterbox.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And he has a bunch of enslaved animals to pull a sleigh that flies, and one of them has got a broken face and it glows.
I thought of a deep.
Who got bullied?
Yes, by all the others.
So we're talking about festive holidays. Are they necessary? Why do we do it? So my question is, on the bigger perspective of it, a lot of it, maybe excluding Valentine's Day, Halloween, and a few other things, but is it a good thing to do from the perspective of children and young mind? So a child is raised and they're told that there's all the world's lovely and there's like fairies that come and grab your teeth, there's a guy that comes down your chimney and gives you gifts. Obviously from our perspective, we grew up, we've experienced that as a lot of people have, but what does it teach you? Because even at a young age, I think you grow up thinking, yeah, it seems a bit far-fetched, you realise it's real, and then you're just kind of like, why the fuck why are we told that?
Imagination. Keep your...
I had plenty of imagination though.
Yeah, but it's like when you're a child, you really know the harsh realities of stuff. Like there's no one who does anything for you. You have to do everything yourself. But like on this magical day, all these things happen for you just to keep you happy as a
So at a
kid.
young age,
I think the question is it good to be happy? Obviously, stuff like that makes children happy. At the same time, you can do things like that, but while still raise your children to be fully aware that the world isn't nice and like that.
Yeah. So you said, yes, it's good because it makes children happy.
Yeah.
Is happiness on a false pretense real happiness? Is that... Because it's still a lie.
Happiness is happiness, whether it's short term or long term. It
could be artificial or actually...
If you're happy, you're happy.
Okay. Does it then, maybe though, so say you grow up on this mindset of like you're told things, you believe them, and then you're told that they're not real.
That's a life lesson in itself.
But one that people don't necessarily learn is about what I'm about to say, because people then grow up and then they're told things on the TV, they're told things on the news. Is that influence in some way coming from how we tell our kids this is real, that's real, and then someone tells them it's not real because you can observe it, you understand it, but then from that same perspective, is it okay, I'm going deep now, is it some sort of like preconditioned programming to say that if you're told something on the TV and everyone believes it, it's real, don't question it, it's real until we tell you it's not?
Because you're meant to question things.
People don't know.
Yeah,
We're not taught to question.
That's either on them or their education.
Just because people don't, that doesn't mean lots of people question it and question things. It's just more people question things than you realise. It's just people are either not asked, or like for most people, you can't really do anything about it if you're not happy, because that's the way the systems are built.
Everyone's free to do what
you
they
can't
wish.
do about. So if people aren't happy, you can't do anything about that.
On an individual level.
I mean, people are free to do as they wish. If they don't want to seek out something to make them happy, or to learn about something that they are just being naive about, then it's on them.
I think it'd be incredibly more harmful to take away the niceties in a child's upbringing and to teach them the harsh realities.
Because from an early age, that's just...
From an early age, I think it'd be more damaging than helpful. They're absolutely vital and needed in a child's upbringing, 100%, but you need the niceties to balance it out. Otherwise, they're going to raise up thinking everything is absolutely disgusting, hating the world, and not trusting anyone, and just become either very anxious, depressed. I reckon things like that would increase in that situation.
I'm going to counter argument that. So I always refer back to like, where did we come from, because we find ourselves now in a world where like we're given pills to make us happy. We're told that we need these things to be able to survive, but if it's not part of our like actual biology, we weren't like we can't just pick these things off the trees. We don't fucking need anything that people are telling us we need. It's maybe just more something that's lacking from a societal perspective. So in that sense, think of like how you would have been raising a child, let's say like in a more wild environment, you would tell a kid, that tiger up there, nah, he looked friendly but he not nice. So you wouldn't just put him in boots and say like, oh, he goes dancing around and the tiger's nice. You would educate the child from an early age, that good, absolutely, that bad. So now we find ourselves in the same situation of...
But that's what I've said, the need to know that level, but not to take away the niceties.
That's
what I'm saying. I'm not saying don't reinforce the negative aspects.
I'm saying niceties in the sense that you're teaching them nothing but truth, and you also teach them about, so like people are told this is reality that I'm aware of. You can make your own mind up.
But some truths are subjective.
But truth is truth, right?
No, not necessarily. Some truth.
No, but if we're talking festive holidays, we're saying that there's a guy that comes down your chimney. That's
yeah.
false.
In terms like that, yeah.
So my argument is, if you were to just tell your kid that this is something that people believe, but you can make your own mind up.
To the original question, I don't think it's doing harm to children. I think if you get raised in a family where you then have those kind of aspects, but you never get told the realities of life, and your parents put you in a cotton wool, that's damaging. However,
that is damaging.
If you fully partake of Christmas, stuff like that, but then your family is quite real with you, they let you go out like to school, stuff like that, and they're like, oh, if you want to hang out with your friends, you learn from other people and social situations you're in among your friends, and learn from them different aspects.
You mentioned though that like paranoia and stuff and like negative things that could happen. I argue that by telling kids these things, it almost influences paranoia more, because then you grow up realizing that, oh, these things I'm told aren't necessarily true, people lie, and then it almost sets a precedence for people then to continue lying. It's okay to lie on certain conditions.
But then what's the truth? The truth is you could be walking and someone will lie to you about and try and steal you. So either way, someone's lying to them. Whether you tell them the truth about what the world's actually like, or you lie to them in a happy way, they're still gonna get lies put on them. Either way,
it's how you it's how you push through the bullshit, I guess,
a
as
little
you grow.
I think I think it's a mechanism you get introduced to society, but I think it's just predominantly used more in children to make them happy. Like, I think we're thinking about now as adults. I don't think it's that complex or that deep as children. I think it's just something that happens, and
I think it's
I don't think holidays bear that much impact.
Holidays, no, because there's good things in holidays, but the lies that you say around it to sell the holiday and to sell the product side of it.
There's much more lies. And the thing is, selling products and stuff like that, that's something which we're aware of. Kids aren't really aware of that. All they're aware of, they're getting presents. And, there's a man who comes down and gives you presents.
I think...
They're not aware of...
No, you say that, but I think this was going to be my point, that everything that happens in early life influences you a lot more than you realise.
Absolutely.
Subconsciously. Your brain is a sponge.
But there's also a limit to what you can understand, because your understanding is on...
Whether you understand it then or at the time or not, as you grow up, you might still have that memory which you then interpret in your own way.
Maybe,
so like things you saw back when you were a kid, you'll probably think back and think, okay, what happened to me in this situation, even though I don't consciously think about it, actually influences how I behave now.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
so
but then that's where your growth comes into it. Like, obviously you can reflect on how yourself was.
So yeah, you've got to realise that, but without know.
So what's the overall point you'll make, or question?
My overall point is, I don't think you should at any point try to say that it is okay to lie to a child. Like, fantasies, fairy tales, that's fine, but don't try and paint it as fact.
I'm just imagining like your child at school, where like you have taught them that no holiday exists.
This is a crazy thing.
And then it's just like, it's Christmas, Santa's gonna come give you a gift. Your child's like, Santa does not exist.
Yeah,
like,
okay.
That would be my kid getting kicked in the playground. Like, he's real.
so take it to a different level. Could you put that on films? So Avengers, it's set in a real world scenario,
right?
And a kid who doesn't really have much of an understanding might be like, "Oh, that could exist. That could be real."
That's fine, but it's not. It's not sold as real.
No, but it is to a kid. If they're watching it, it's live compared to an animation where they know that's not real, because they can differentiate the difference between the two.
Like there was, the live action movies that are coming out. For example, kids are watching those. So like the new Aladdin, how Will Smith was the genie, but in the movie he's not always blue. So there was a video of a press conference that was happening. Well, not a press conference. It was like the opening awards or something like that, and Will Smith's walking down. Two kids like, "Where's your powers?" And Will Smith's like, "Oh, I don't have them in public because not many people know about it. You got to keep it hush." That's just how kids are.
They've been
kids
told
believe
that kind of thing.
It's just
so if you've got to get rid of commercial holidays, you then have to either get into films like that or stop kids from seeing.
That's the open interpretation of it, though, because you're not. Even though the kid sees that and thinks, "Oh, that's magic, that's amazing," that's imagination. But at no point have you ever said to the kid, "That's absolutely real. That's real. There's a guy that if you rub the lamp."
But the movies portraying a lie.
But as you grow,
you're not out. You're not out and out saying Iron Man is real. Let's say, but you are showing your kid that thing which is portraying a lie. So therefore, it is a lie.
But you don't say to a kid, "Iron Man's real," but you do say, "The Tooth Fairy's real." So it's as you interpret that as you grow, you realise that, okay, that's really cool, I would really love to identify with that character, but he's a fictional character and here's a load of backstory from where he's come from. Santa just comes out of nowhere and is like, this is real, and then all of a sudden you realise it's not.
So what about religion then? Because how is that real or not? You don't know, but if you portray it on your kids too.
This is what I mean.
We keep jumping around this religious.
Yeah, I know, but
that's what I meant about subjective truth. I don't believe religion to be real. Some people will.
Yeah. So if
but then that child could go into society and be told that's not actually true. So they're conflicted themselves. Is it a lie? You can't. This is what I mean. You can't go. A child can't go through its adolescent life without being lied to. In some form or by something. It just can't.
Do you want to hear? Have I told you the lies my mum told me?
No.
Go on.
Okay, one in particular, which nearly got me in trouble in school. Young age, very like first school. I had apparently asked her, how do people carry things on top of their heads? And my mum said to me that their heads are flat, and I said that in school. So my mum got called in, like, what are you telling them? My older sister wanted a Cabbage Patch doll. My mum hated them, so she gave my sister a cabbage, and she said, if you love it enough, it'll turn into a Cabbage Patch doll. And it rotted. So yeah, in my household, you're not safe from lies.
See, I feel like in your household, they're really damaging lies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like my mum, when I'd call my mum out on her bullshit, she'd be like, I don't lie, I fabricate the truth to suit myself. And to be honest, I've come out of that, and I appreciate that, because I think you're still doing what everyone else is doing, but you put your own twist on it, to almost in a mindfuckery kind of way that made me think. It's like, okay. So it was an interesting take on the whole concept of it, but I don't think it was damaging in any way. It does just kind of, I think it just, you just become a little bit desensitized to the society that you're told.
Yeah, but you, even though you're saying like you shouldn't never lie to a kid about anything, you were still going to go, even if whatever period in life, you're going to go through a moment where you're going to have a realization that was never true. Even if no one told you it, you found out for yourself, you realise that was not true.
And wouldn't that make that child very naive? You know, like The Invention of Lying, you ever seen that film?
Yeah. Oh, Gullible.
Yeah. I think lying is an important lesson.
So you can learn not to take things for granted.
And you'd rather it be over something non-important, like Santa,
exactly,
than something
because
like...
what is it? If anything, lying about Santa makes you more grateful for the present you got, because you know your parents had to work for that shit to buy you it.
Yeah, like... I'm
not just some magical man brought them to you for being good for a year.
I'd read something it was some theory
Oh,
about
mate,
lying that...
Is Santa behavioural control around December?
Ooh, that's a deeper question.
Behavioural control?
Yeah.
No.
If you be
Naughtiness.
good, Santa will leave you presents. If you feel naughtiness, you're not going to get any presents this year.
I mean, that's maybe just how it's...
I guess you need to be taught.
It's a direction.
There's one way, behavioural control, I guess, is one.
I was going to make a point on the lying side, though. I read something before that it was a theory, I think, about how lying could have actually influenced how we've actually progressed and evolved. So that those people who could lie better would actually go further, because if you can get a one over on someone, it's exploitation, but it's still that hierarchy of...
You mean like politicians?
I guess so, yeah.
That makes sense. I mean, talking shit's become a skill. Do you think there would be like a degree for talking shit?
Oh, it's a professional bullshit, but you can't really teach it
That's the university of life, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, true.
You can't really get a degree in it, because then people know, and then there's no point in being able to lie.
That's a good point.
Unless you just bullshit saying you got a degree in something else, but it's actually bullshit.
Until someone asks.
That's what real bullshit.
But yeah, if you can sell something well enough, people won't ever ask to see your credentials. Just you've got to be good at bullshit.
Imagine having to out bullshit a bullshitter, professional bullshit. How much of a skill would that be? It's just like a bullshitting competition, but like everyone knows about it.
I find myself in those kind of situations sometimes, and it's challenging, but it's fun as fuck.
We all know who the absolute best... Actually, no, he's not the best bullshitter. One of the best bullshitters. Are they a good bullshitter if you know it's all bullshit?
No. Are you going to say more then?
No. Someone else we went to school with. Probably shouldn't name a name.
I've got two people in mind. I don't know which one.
You'll definitely...
I know exactly who you're talking about, I think, but let's not bother name dropping people.
Any clues you can give without it being...
You didn't like him.
Oh, no. Yeah. Oh, I didn't like both of them. People.
Yeah.
I know he was about that.
Yeah.
I was going to say...
Just remember some of the things he used to say.
I'm going to cut all of this part out, because we've come to a little bit of a...
If you're cutting this out, Josh Buckley.
Yes. Okay, we need to pull this back. Where did we go? Lies, importance of lies. So we've gone from holidays to lies.
It's quite an interesting conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
So
so
back to holidays then. So what would be considered one of the holidays that can be like, there's no harm in it, there's nothing really bad that can happen?
St. Patrick's Day.
Pancake Day. Pancake Day is essential. Let's not get rid of that.
I mean, that has
Don't question
That
Pancake
has
Day.
religious
Shrove Tuesday.
connotations.
I would get down on my knees for pancakes.
I know what I'm getting then. Get the batter out. Daniel, on your knees.
Bro, please make me pancakes.
I
That'd be
can
great.
just imagine one day Dan's like, I'll do anything with pancakes right now. I'm just like,
What do you have on top of
Hang on,
pancakes?
wait,
What's
wait,
the
wait.
best topping on pancakes?
lemon and sugar. I can't.
I do love a classic lemon
Yeah.
sugar. But how did we go from me? How did we go from me appreciating pancakes
To
you
Dan
both
giving-
thinking about me sucking your dick?
You said you go on your knees for pancakes?
Because you said religion, it came from religious connotation.
Yeah, do you not know what priests do to children?
That took a turn.
Fuck.
Alright, so St.
Another
Patrick's
bit
Day.
to cut out.
Maybe we can keep that in.
Yeah. Yes, holidays that aren't damaging and are just great. I fucking love pancakes. Christmas, in the sense that you just spend time with family. Yes.
So if we,
I think there's the aspects of it that are
even though we
bad.
don't do it over here as much, Thanksgiving, we just have that as what Christmas is all about.
No.
That's not.
That's a
good
completely
holiday.
different
Is
thing.
it not?
No,
Well, bro.
because they're basically celebrating killing the nature.
Yeah.
Okay,
America.
not
No,
what
they-
Thanksgiving came from, but what it's become now.
But you
Okay,
still celebrate.
Thanksgiving, right? That's a good one. That is a really good one. Thanksgiving is definitely bad because Thanksgiving has been turned a genocide into a holiday that people celebrate being American, while also just completely whitewashing the fact that
Okay, yeah.
you
It's
massacred
like-
people.
It's like the Germans having a bratwurst day,
Yeah.
but it's actually be when
Like,
Hitler started.
The Germans would have probably had a celebration if they had won.
Yeah.
Would have probably had a day when they celebrated, got together, ate a shitload of sausage and mustard and drank beer, and just celebrated that day when they won. From their perspective,
dancing on what
They-
was Buckingham Palace.
yeah, the day we got rid of all of the Jews. It's the same thing, except you're told that you eat turkey. It's the day when people got together, and it was a good thing. No, it fucking wasn't.
Okay, alright.
Like, I think that is really bad, and so this is where I was going to go with it. Holidays are one thing, but the underlying tone that we keep talking about, lies. How dangerous are lies? What is okay? Like, when is it a good time to lie? And how much of an influence, negatively, can a lie have on a society? Thanksgiving, great example, because as that progresses, generations are just going to forget less and less.
On the flip side,
About-
for America, Independence Day is a really good holiday because it's when they became independent from us.
Yeah, but we lost the states then.
Yeah, but who cares? Like, that's a really good holiday to celebrate.
But to the question you just asked, when is it okay to lie? I would say to save someone's life. That's the only justifiable reason lying.
What scenario?
Yeah,
does
give me
that
a
play
scenario.
out?
Yeah, I don't know, but like if you had to give it a reason,
So for me, if it was in a situation, if a parent lied to the kid about them having cancer or something like that.
Yeah. You mentioned The Invention of a Lie, that film with Ricky Gervais. I watched it recently. There's that scene when his mum's passed away, and everyone's just told. Well, they don't know what happened, so they're just told that there's nothing, and she's really scared. So then he tells her that you're going to go to a really lovely place, and then everyone's like gathered round. It's really beautiful. It makes me cry every time. That's obviously nice because then you're telling someone, you're reassuring someone that you're going to be okay, even though you're not. So yeah, I can get
Also,
that.
I think little lies actually
White lies.
are all good. So let's say,
Is that still how is that still a name for little
Yeah,
lies?
yeah,
like
yeah.
white lies.
so let's say you're in a relationship,
Yeah.
right? And someone messages you, it's like, oh, hey, really like you, rah rah rah. If you were to tell your other half, that's probably likely to do more damage than just not like ignoring the message. not replying, moving on. Because if you tell them, they're going to be like, get annoyed about it. Could be like,
who is this bitch mentioning your phone?
Yeah,
tell her
stuff
you got
like
the
that.
work
Whereas, and even if they do find out, you can say, look, you can see right here, I didn't reply. I don't know the person. It's not worth talking to you about. I don't really care.
That's up to the other person how they react to it.
Yeah, I guess it is, because some people would like to know, but I think for some people, they rather wouldn't like to know that situation.
To be honest, I would tell my other half if that happened, because I would just find the lighter side of it. Like, look at this girl just messaging me saying shit like this.
I would do the same thing. I would just... Because if you've got nothing to hide, there's no problem.
Mm-hmm.
I think if...
See, I'm the opposite. I would want to know.
Right. If you can't be honest, though, then there's a problem, because then if you feel that you can't talk to your other half about something, then later down the line there's going to be something else where you're like, I'd rather avoid an argument here because you know this person's going to react badly.
But I would want to know that.
Okay.
And I don't need to know. I don't care.
Depends on the person.
I don't want to have to worry about other people trying to get my missus. Like,
but is that where the trust comes in?
But no, like I do trust anyone, but like
wouldn't know.
it's like there's one thing like thinking it could happen, and then if someone was to come up and try and do it, it's like fuck off. Like obviously no, she's gonna do anything. Like if you're in a nightclub with your missus, and then some guy came up to her and was just like obviously like just trying to be like a sleaze, you'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? Even though you knew your girlfriend wasn't gonna do anything, you'd still be like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. So it's exactly the same. Like
it's just a situation you can.
It's
avoid.
a situation. It's like why? Like I don't care. It's just something for me to. Oh, okay, whatever. All right.
I like.
And it would annoy me just like because obviously that person would know she'd be in a relationship, so she'd be like, what the fuck you do that for? Just saying an annoyance.
Yeah, true.
So I'd rather not know.
Okay, yeah.
I'd rather know everything because if
you
the heart
controlling bastard.
No, just know if I'd rather know the worst truth than just continue feeling comfortable with a situation that I don't know everything about. So like I would rather someone be able to tell me everything than feel they couldn't tell me anything.
But yeah, I think if something was an actual thing, I'd rather know. But in a situation where someone messages you missus, that's not a thing. It's just like, do you know what I mean? It's just someone's done.
I like
something.
your idea though. I would probably do something similar and just be like, look at this. Do you want to deal with it? So then your missus can just do some fuckery like, oh yeah, me love you. Just see where she takes it, because then that's just funny. And then that's building some trust there. Like, I'm not interested.
But then I would find it funny. I'd be like, why are you showing me this? Are you trying to annoy me? What's the point you're trying to prove by showing me this? Because it would kind of because I'd be a bit like, are you just trying to purposely like aggravate me or annoy me? I'd be like, why? I don't need to know this. You could have just not brought it
I
up.
think you're thinking in the sense of like, just saying like, hey, someone messaged me this, and just let you deal with your own. But like, look at this dickhead who just messaged me saying this, and like,
I
but then there would be like
okay,
the interaction of.
Are you a diva?
I was about to say.
No.
Does he throw tantrums?
No, genuinely, I don't. No, I genuinely don't. But this has never happened. It's never happened.
I'm just picturing someone's going to be like, hey, look at this. You trying to offend me? Why the fuck? Why would you show me that?
No, but I very much have the opinion like I don't need to know like why you're showing me. Like I'd be like, are you just trying to get to me? Are you, like, what are you trying to do here? Like, why are you showing me?
I just can't. Why are you doing this? I don't want to know.
No, I just like, are you trying to piss me off or something? It's just like,
I get it.
I'm like, I don't need to see that.
I'm just not going to be able to see that in any other way than you just having a tantrum. What the fuck? Why'd you do that? I just thought it'd be funny. No.
Go to your room.
Okay, so
I feel like everything I say now is feel
Lies are
like a diva connotation. Just
yeah.
do it now.
I'm just gonna hear sass every time I say it.
Let's just calm him down each time.
Okay.
The stickers.
So lies are good in some
Yeah,
circumstances.
absolutely.
So these festivals of lies are then also good.
It depends if he's
not.
doing.
It's a good part of our society to tell some little fibs sometimes.
The thing, like, what's a lie and what's not a lie in a sense? So
Selling something as truth that is inaccurate.
Well, okay. What's the difference between twisting the truth and a lie?
or withholding information.
Yes.
So, for example, like
But like one thing at a time though, so twisting the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
So
that can be dangerous then because you're giving some sort of, you're still painting something as completely accurate when you know it's not completely accurate. So there's probably things in that could end up badly. So like someone does something based on the knowledge that what they've been told is true, only to learn that it's not. Maybe that I can't think of a circumstance, but then that doesn't happen. And then what was the other one?
Withholding information.
Withholding information. Well, that's like what you were saying. With you would just rather not know.
I guess it's not
So
like
that's like a little.
Yeah, there's always a need to know basis and things.
By withholding certain things, you might then actually have to lie.
Yeah.
Because if you were to ask, like, has this person done this? You would rather not know. So then the person might then feel like, no. Then you find out later on down the line, actually I did. And then you've got to then have a conversation of, why didn't you tell me this? Because you don't want to know, but now I do know. It's like, isn't it just easy to just be like, this has happened, let's deal with it?
Ignorance is bliss sometimes, though.
No.
Yes.
No.
Sometimes, yes.
Actually, I do have an example which is actually very similar to the messages thing, actually. So, we went to a party, and before we went, she said to me, by the way, someone who I was seeing with is here. And I knew they were seeing each other before because obviously we were friends back then and we spoke about it. But I had no idea what he looked like or anything like that. And then when we went there, and obviously we was all talking, it was just awkward because I knew who he was when he came over to say hi. So I was just like, hi, you're right. I didn't know how to like kind of deal with the social situation. Whereas if she never told me, I wouldn't have had a fucking clue. And never would have seen that person again. Never would have been awkward. It was perfectly fine.
If she never told you, would you have known?
No, I wouldn't have known.
You would know that.
I would not have known.
Okay.
So you would have rather not known.
Yeah, so ignorance is bliss. It's just it would have saved an unnecessary little bit of awkwardness.
I think the awkwardness is on you though.
Yeah.
Because you could know it, having known, you could have just been literally like, hi man, yeah, how you doing? And just excessive niceness.
But there's nothing wrong with that.
With just, I'm not saying there isn't anything wrong with that, but then feeling awkward.
Because I was trying to be really nice, but then I was like, am I trying to be over nice because I know I'm not meant to like this
Who
person?
gives a fuck? Either way you're thinking about it.
But that's what I mean. I was thinking about the situation too. Whereas had I not been told that information, I would have been perfectly relaxed.
So I could have been perfectly relaxed, having known. I think it's open to interpretation, then, or it's how you want to react to it. Because I would rather know, because then it's still like I know this. Where I don't like elephants in the room. Fucking hate that. Because if there's something, if it's a thing, let's just have it out and we know it's there. Because I'll never believe. I think ignorance is one of the most dangerous things in society, because ignorance turns people against people. Ignorance makes people think that something is bad when in actual fact it's not. It's your perspective.
Ignorance is very similar to hope. Hope is amazing, the worst thing ever. Ignorance is the worst thing ever and really good.
Belief. So it's all belief. So hope, you're believing something.
Yeah.
Ignorance, you're believing something.
Yeah.
So lies are always bad.
They're not always bad.
Well, no, if it's causing ignorance. So this is why I think that yes, everything should be spoken about. Truth should not be withheld, and fabrication is not necessarily a good thing.
Okay. Situation for you. There's a dying mother, right, and she's literally going to die in the next few days, few hours, whatever. Her son's just been arrested for rape. Do you let her die with ignorance? Her son is a good person.
Yes.
So that disagrees with what you just said.
So the person she's probably heard something small that something's happened to her son, and she goes and asks someone who knows full well what happened, and it's you.
Or like
would you tell that person that your son's just been arrested for rape?
Or let her die ignorant her son's a good person.
Depends how confident I felt about her death. Because then
No, if she was in a hospital...
Yeah, she's terminally ill.
Going to die the next few hours, and she was like, why can my son not come and visit me? And then the reality is he got arrested, like the day before, whatever, or a few hours ago for that reason. And you had to either say, your son is an absolute scumbag, horrible person, or...
I would probably lie. Yeah.
That's what I mean, it's never black and white when it comes to situations like this with truth or lies.
There's always like an ethical...
There's
moral,
a grey area.
Well, I guess that's probably why then bad things do happen from that respect, because there's always going to be on one side, yes, this is okay to do that because it, in some respect, it's doing something nice. But then there is always going to be that if we agree that we can do that, then we can do this.
Yeah.
So we're fucked, really.
But that's what humanity is, making the choice. That's what's different between us and most animals. Our ability, our range of choices, and our ability to make those.
Plus, everyone is going to like something. Don't you like when you were younger, you broke something, and you're like, shit, just broke this thing, and your mom's like, who broke it? And you make up this fabrication of it.
Oh yeah.
And then one time at a minute, she believes it, and you're just like, I can create stories and make things.
It was
reality.
like my mum taught me how to lie.
Yeah, of course, you did.
I got really good at lying, but then, bro, you break something as a kid, even that, like, you've no idea the value. You just know that you're getting a beating. Mama's coming.
I can hit that belt coming.
I don't know, the metal spatula for me.
Ooh.
Until it was fine.
I had
'cause-
nothing.
oh, cold.
Just like, why did you do that?
Oh, we have the stern talking to. That's one of my.
It was an accident. Okay, fair enough.
That's why you're so mellow.
yeah.
So I remember the day when my mum gave me a smack with the fish slice, as she called it. I don't know who calls it a fish slice. It's a spatula.
Fish slice.
And I took it and I was just like, oh, it doesn't hurt. And at this point I was like looking down at her. I was like, you're fucked now.
Look at your mom's face when she does it.
Like, your punishment doesn't work.
That's another actually interesting conversation for another day. I don't think, or as you can't know, you should hit children. I think it only teaches them violence.
I think.
Oh, you just like that's cutting deep forward.
We have to talk about this another day.
Yeah, we have to talk about another day, but
I have to know where the line is.
Yeah. So when it becomes physical abuse and actual.
Okay, like there's giving him a smack and then there's abuse.
Like slap in the back of the hand, slap in the wrist, whatever.
There's a
Yeah,
there is a thick
And
line that separates.
okay,
Correction from
I
abuse.
can accept to that.
Yeah.
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 But like I've heard stories about like my generations of family back where the methods of like it's pretty much torture the way they beat their kids. Like I hear people like when they're in Jamaica, they're like they'll make the kid go to the tree, take the branch off the tree that they're gonna beat them with. Yeah, and then bring it back. If it's too light, they'll be like, this isn't good. And then they'll go get another one and then beat them with that one twice as hard. They'll be like doing stuff where like they'll stutter, like every syllable word, they'll beat them with it. I'm like, I'm not.
But no, it's like in schools.
Classic Lenny Henry, I'm not doing this for me, it's for your own good.
No, like,
I was going to make that
it's,
joke.
it's schools, isn't it? Like they used to have the cane at schools.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Moderate abuse, I think, is good, but
Abuse.
excessive. See, I know it's fucking dark, but I find that hilarious because
It's funny to hear, yes,
like,
but
that is the line. It's not like you can go too far because like I've heard some stories whether it was a joke or there was some truth to it of like chests like bricks, chests of drawers. The idea was to just hurt the kid, so that's bad. But I think that like when the kid sees that the line is here, you had a choice. Now I'm giving you another. Pick your weapon.
mm-hmm.
And then you've got, like, I've heard, like, teacher in middle school made me laugh, and I still remember this one, because he's like, if we messed up, he would just always tell us, like, you have no idea how easy you have it. Like, I had a teacher that had like, a cupboard, and you would pick your weapon, cane, slipper, ruler, and then you pick your weapon, and he'd just tell you to bend over.
I mean, like every like nationality race has got like the stories of like their parents beat them or something. Like the most classic one is like the Titanians basically like having slippers or just parents just beating them with their slippers all the time. There's all those videos where like the parents could just lob it at you and still hit you from as you run away.
Like there were people who would like there's obviously criminal activity and things. There's always been bad things, but then were people better conditioned in society years ago, like in different generations? I guess they didn't question things as much. But then there's people now where so my mum being a childminder, she has this one kid where apparently the parents are doing a technique where you don't ever correct the child, don't shout at the child. So if the kid is kicking off you just try and talk to them. You get down to their level, and you don't ever raise your voice. So I've been woken up a few times in the morning when the kids come at like 7 o'clock in the morning, and it screams, just absolutely wails like it's a banshee or something, just like top of its lungs for like at least an hour or so, and that's because it's not been. At no point is it told by its parents, stop. There's I think too much freedom to explore.
I think you should be told stop, but often kids scream because they want attention. I think it's more not about shouting at them or hitting them. It's about educating them. There's better ways to get attention. I think that's the thing, and I don't think educating them in a way of shouting is good. Like shouting, it just encourages more shouting, in my opinion, as well. Mm-hmm. So I think if that was in my situation, you'd be talking to like a child or whatever, and then if you've told them something which leads to the tantrum, like no, they can't have any sweets or stuff like that, and then they have the tantrum, at that point you ignore them.
Mm. Yeah.
Wait till they get too tired.
I agree that shouting is probably not.
And then like afterwards, be like, explain the situation. This is why you didn't get it. Now we can talk about it because you stop screaming. That'll begin setting after a certain amount of times.
Yeah.
Potentially. Never had a kid. Don't want one. Who knows?
I bet it'll be the first out of all of us.
No, I don't.
You don't think?
No. Only because you like can't pull.
It's a choice, actually.
That hurt.
Neither could I. When have you ever seen me pull that out?
I have actually, but I can't remember that well.
Yeah, look at that grin.
Actually, I ruined it, so yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, New Year's.
You do ruin it, not compared to Morley.
True. Morley.
I don't know. You had legitimate concerns.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, yeah, sure. You've heard the story, yeah?
I was probably there.
He wasn't.
Was I not?
No, I don't think he was there. Naked off with a girl, and then Tom comes up basically in between us, like, you've left me, you've abandoned me.
Bro, I'm pretty sure I was there because that story rings a bell.
Is he there?
Yeah, no, was it in Planet?
No.
I do remember more because
it was in Snobs. It was New Year at Hayden.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Was that the New Year's that I missed to try and save a relationship?
Yes.
Right, yeah, that went so great. Maybe that's why I don't celebrate New Year's anymore. Just like, what's the point?
Emotional trauma.
Yeah, I do remember. I remember hearing that anyway.
Yeah.
So shall we wrap this up with a conclusive answer? So,
what I was going to say was, from what I've heard from families that had, not what I explained to them, what I explained to you, but like similar things, they always have the opinion of, well, when I was a kid, I was an idiot, I was a fool. I needed that sort of thing to make me become the person I am today. Obviously, they're not perfect people, but depending on your upbringing and the scenarios around you, it seems justifiable for that method of punishment as a kid. But it's still that sort of thing where obviously there is a line, there is like too far, there is the right amount, or where is it still, but it depends on who you are and how you are.
If you look back on that generation which had that, they're potentially one of the most ignorant, worst generations been.
Yeah, but I feel like nowadays people are way too snowflakey.
Yeah, that's true. Continuously being told they're going to destroy the planet in 100 years, not care.
True. Yeah.
And then just continue to look at their own point of views, not listen to any of the generations previous because they're better and you need more life experience.
There was no room for real conversation.
Yeah, you don't have an opinion because you're not old enough. That kind of thing. You've had it easy. It's always, that generation was just always look down on the rest.
Mm-hmm.
They're very condescending, like, oh, you've had it easy, you don't know the real world.
We've had to live through this, we've done this,
when all they did is fuck the world.
I think the mentality of when the world's done in 100 years and like, well, we did back then, who cares?
Potentially, yeah.
Struggles are just a matter of perspective, everyone has them.
Absolutely.
So, but I agree that the last generation was fucking up the planet without realising. That's
the introduction of the nuclear bomb.
That's ignorance.
From that generation. Two world wars in 50, 60 years.
Ignorance is all it is, I think.
So it kind of shows that form of education or control doesn't work. Because I think it just led to closed-minded, this is how you do things, this is the opinion you have, and that's it. It was no freedom of thought.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
But we are very snowflakey now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you make a joke, everyone gets offended. Oh, come on, behave.
I know.
It's a joke.
But you can. Is it not just people now have more freedom
Or-
to actually question?
Although what I do find funny is, like, you see all these like middle-aged men or old men like that. You snowflakes get so offended easily now. Rah rah. We wouldn't get offended. Do you know what I always think when I see like middle-aged men do that? Like, no, people make a joke to you, and then your reply to that is you're going to batter them. Who's overreacting here?
Yeah, true.
The one generation sends a message saying, "Could you please stop this?" The other one has to have a fist fight.
Who's the most?
Who's the most hurt there? Really, like who's biting the most?
Yeah, isn't it?
It's always like the most out there comebacks as well. It's like, you talk to me like that again, I'll shit on your mum. This is sort of like, mate, calm the fuck down. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it normally goes nowhere.
No, it doesn't.
Just because you're louder doesn't mean you're right.
It's always those funny videos as well where like someone mouths off on the street, there's this like big bloke and like saying, "What you gonna do, mate? What you gonna do?" and just get slapped, one hit down the floor. It's like, shut up.
Wrap it up then?
Yeah.
So, festive holidays, they're not going anywhere.
No, not anytime soon.
I don't think they're a bad thing, but I
No.
don't think they're a good thing either.
I think the ignorance that
The good outweighs the bad of it.
Yeah, I'm not going to disagree with that, I think. The ignorance that comes from lies, whether it be innocent or not, lies grow lies, I think, which then just feeds
Would you
ignorance.
agree with that?
I think moral to the story is question everything and
Believe nothing.
don't ever be satisfied
Educate
or
yourself.
comfortable. Educate yourself.
And don't believe the first thing you read.
Question
Look
the
at the
world,
opposing
question
view.
yourself.
Time is it?
It is
Time to finish the podcast.
Verbal nonsense. 3.
12:30. Stay in school, kids. Don't do drugs. Get yourself in debt.
Wear a condom.
Wear a condom. Don't make this person.